She don't guess, she knows. She don't chase, she builds. Money making Martine, certified, verified, boss mode, seal. Talk that strategy, coach that coach. She break it down, level up the whole approach. Certified mind with $1 million view. AI in her pocket, what you trying to do? She the plug, the map, the guide, the lane. Martine got that knowledge in her veins. Coach to coach, now take that note. When she speaks, you better quote that quote. She don't just teach, she upgrade the game. System so smooth, it remembers your name. AI certified, blueprint tight, helping your biz get its money right. She scaled the hustle, automate the stress, turn passion to product and clean up the mess. Queen of conversion, boss of the pitch. You want results, Martine's the switch. She's the coach's coach, and this ain't theory, this is proof. Martine moves in wisdom, and she talks that chalk, that strategy, coach that coach. She break it down, level up the whole approach. Certified mind with $1 million view. AI in her pocket, what you trying to do? She the plug, the map, the guide, the lane. Martine got that knowledge in her veins. Coach a coach, now take that note. When she speaks, you better quote that quote.
Good morning. You ever read something and it just slaps you in the face, you know? I was up this morning and I saw something. And man, I was shook at that. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. I woke up, was going through some things, and I was like, whoa. I had one of those whoa moments where it's like, I can't believe this is happening. And I can't believe like this is happening to me. Good morning, Rose. Glad to see you. Thanks for hopping in. And I was like, oh, so I'm gonna have to put this let them in practice right now, because for a minute there, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. It's so vile. This thing that's happening is disturbing. It's vile. It's wrong. It hurts me. It hurts what I'm trying to do. And good morning, A to Z Crafty Shop. For a minute there, I was gonna let it take over, but I changed my mind. And I realized, like, I got to practice what I've been talking about all this time. Glad to have you. Good morning, Trisha's Tumblr. Good morning. You know, when you're trying to be a better human being, make sure all my stuff is on. When you're trying to be a better human being, oftentimes it's not always easy to apply it, right? We can talk about it all day, but it kind of becomes hard to apply it. But I immediately was like, I've got to let this be. It makes for a great topic for what we're going to talk about today. I'm glad you're here too. It's great to meet you, A to Z Crafty Shop. That's all I can see. So if you go by something else, you're going to have to tell me what it is. Good morning, Shane. Good morning, Lisa. I had this moment this morning where I was struggling a little bit. There's something that happened, or it's been happening. I just hadn't put my eyes on it. Good morning, Miss Baskins. I hadn't actually put my eyes on it. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. And I immediately, like, the doubt started to creep in, and well, maybe I can't do what I'm trying to do here. And then immediately I was like, I've got to let them. I've got to let them. I've got to let them be. And we're going to be talking more about what this let them thing is. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and I've got new faces and some new names I see. Good morning, V. So I'm going to go back and give my little spiel, and then we're going to jump me in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How y'all doing this morning? I'm glad that you are all here. I am Martine Brown, and this is Morning Motivations. And 3 times a week, I walk, talk, and just try to give you a little bit of encouragement as you move through this thing called life. I'm a very imperfect person, trying to be just a little bit better than I was the day before. If you're watching from YouTube or if you're watching from Facebook, I can't see the comments. I let it run on those places, but I can't see the comments. You'll have to head over to TikTok if you want to engage. For the last month, we've been studying the let them theory. I do not do a book study every month. So those of you who've been with me all month, don't be looking for no book every month. Book studies are tough. All right. And I like a little bit more flexibility. We've been locked into the book. I've been enjoying the book. It's been extremely impactful. But we ain't doing a book every month. Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It's been a great book study. And I think anyone who's looking to make change in their life should really look at that book. Okay? And what's been happening is we've been looking at a couple chapters, and I give you some of my thoughts on it in my community, Morning Motivations. And that's what we've been doing. So if you're new, welcome. If you've been here, I'm glad you're back. And I want to be clear about this. I know that there are plenty other places that you could be, but you have been kind enough to be right here, right now, in this moment. There are other brands that are larger than what I have going on. There are other brands that are smaller than what I have going on. But you chose to be here, whether it's live or through a replay. So I just want to take a minute to say thank you. I appreciate you, and I'm glad you're here. All right? So let's see. Miss B, how you doing this morning? One Mind, Body, and Soul, how you doing this morning? A to Z Crafty, good morning and welcome. Good morning, J Rose. I'm so glad y'all are here. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Super Being. Good morning, Miss Honey. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm doing good. I had a little moment this morning. I saw some things. I was really hurt by what I saw. And so I had to kind of take a step back and go, let them. I had to apply exactly what it is we've been talking about. It's funny how all of those feelings, when you realize that someone is wronging you, they're actively wronging you, they will always wrong you. Like there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's hard to lean into these things you've learned, but I did. I took a moment. I said, I'm gonna have to release this. I'm gonna have to release it and let it go. Yeah, B, the testing never stops. You are so right about that. And I don't want y'all to ever think that I am not being tested. Now, with the Christian hat on, I would say, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So it's not for me to try to do anything to really change the circumstance, but just to release the emotional ties I have to it, to disengage from it. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do, one day at a time. It doesn't mean the feelings aren't gonna come up again, but it's my job to let them. Good afternoon, Charlene. Good morning, Crystal. Glad to see y'all. Glad you're out here. Thank y'all for hopping in. We're jumping right into these chapters this morning. We've been studying the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It is our book study for this month. Not gonna do this every month, guys. Next month, I'm doing a whole new set of themes and topics. So I'm going to always try to keep it changed up. But I did read chapters 14 through 17. And man, I feel like she slapped me in the face. If anybody's read this set of chapters, hunty, oh, it was a slap in the face. So I want to talk about it because there's some things I really want to encourage you to do differently. Okay? We are walking into this last couple days of the month, and there are a couple things we cannot continue to do. We can't keep chasing behavior. We can't keep begging people to get it. And we really have to choose what alignment looks like. This next set of chapters, she really focuses on how to deal with people you cannot change. Some of us have an issue with trying to change people. Yeah, I'm going to let that sit for a moment. We've got a really bad habit of trying to change people. Good morning, Tyra. Glad to have you this morning. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it for a minute. Because a lot of us say, oh, no, I don't try to change anyone. Lies. You've been trying to get your spouse to put the toilet down for 10 years. You've been trying to get your cousin to go into business for you since the beginning of time. Good morning, Miss Linda. Okay, I'm going to say it so we're going to get it out the way. You've been trying to get your adult children to take your advice for the last 2 years because you know what's best. You've been trying to get your teenage son or daughter to choose the college that you went to. Yep. There are a lot of myths around getting people to do what we want. We want the boss to be better at work. We want our colleague. Oh, yeah, let me run this back. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is it Hara? Good morning. I see you on YouTube. Good morning. Let me say this one. You want your coworker to work as hard as you. You want your coworker, to work hard as you. You want your coworker to work hard as you. And you do everything you can to have your coworker be you. Oh, great, Charlene. I'll see you later. I see you, A to Z. A to Z said, look, I just want you to keep your room clean to my standard. I see you. Telling your friends what man to be with. Oh. Woo. Good morning, Mr. Miller. Ouchie. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. You can't stand that man she about to marry because you know all the drama. Right? So the book does this in much greater detail, but literally, and this really hit home with me because there's some things I've been wanting to have be different in my own life and some of the interactions I have. So it really hit home with me. So I really hope it helps you too. So in the book, essentially, okay, good morning, Sharon. In the book, here's the truth. People only change when they feel like it. Yeah. People only change when they feel like it. Down to a science. When people sense that you're trying to change them, they literally can see the resistance in the brain. Literally. Your mind, and that's all of us, the mind literally goes into defense mode. It shuts down, and any movement that you thought you had at play is now over. So when we pressure people to change, their brains literally shut down. What does this have to do with business? Everything. So when we try to pressure our spouses and extended families to invest or be engaged in our business, they are the least likely to be invested and engaged in our business. People don't change because you've nagged them or you gave them a little nudge. They do it when they doggone feel like it. And the same is true for us. For many of us, it started when we were kids. All right, let me know in the chat. Was there a food that you refused to eat? Was there a food that no matter what your family did, you refused to eat it? Let me know in the chat. Because that's when it starts. It starts in childhood. It's one of the very first times, that we initially become grounded in not changing how we feel about a thing. I see, man, I love liver and onions, but I digress. I see the liver coming in. That's the very first time that you are literally trained to go in defense mode when someone tries to get you to do their will. Okay? Now, side note, in the book, she goes in detail about how this works for kids. Okay? She goes in great detail. So I'm not going to tap into that. But she tells you exactly what the rules are when we talk about let them and children, because their minds are not fully developed. So there are some things you got to do differently. Okay? But all of us, that for many of us, that was the very beginning of our inability to accept someone else's will. All right? Many of us are, even to this day, everything we do, our job, our interest, how we raise our children is often, how I want to say this, it's often a push against all the ways we were raised or weren't raised. All right? So there's a lot of implications around people are not going to change unless it's what they want. Good morning, Michael. Okay? So that's the first part I need you to take in. People are not going to change. Okay? And those of you, good morning, Lena. Those of you that have been with us, good morning. Who's that? Good morning, Michelle. Those of you that have been married a long time, anywhere from 3 years and up, you learn very early on that there's some very key things with your partner that will not change, or at least in your perception, they won't change. Good morning, Erica. All right. So we just have to establish that. Okay. We're not changing nobody. Let me do this too. Let's talk more business. All right. When it comes to your target audience, you cannot force them to buy your products. And I know that sounds crazy. Like, well, duh, I know I can't force them. But oftentimes, our behavior reflects like we have an attitude that we're gonna we can force them into this. Oh, they won't even buy my things. I put it out there, they won't even buy it. Right? That's not how this works. And I've been learning this all year. I didn't realize it until I kind of thought through all of the changes and the things that have happened over the past year. We cannot manipulate. Some people believe that they're mass manipulators. All right. But she does give a solution. Okay. So when we talk about trying to see transformation in the lives of other people, there are some things we can do. Okay. If we want to see change in others, and this really struck me hard, we need to model the behavior we want to see. All right. So if you want a clean home, when are you going to get up and clean? Right? If you want your product to sell, I'll give you a good example. Let's talk about coloring real quick. If you love coloring books, you love creating coloring pages, but your social media content is never video of you coloring, why would anyone buy a coloring book from you? You've written a book, but you're not engaged in any kind of reading anything. Why would someone buy a book from you? If you want people to do the thing that you want, oh, I got my girl Melanated Seduction in here. Let me say this. She's a movie she's a cinephile. She loves movies, she loves television. How can she talk about those things if she don't watch movies and television? Right? Y'all with me? If you want to see change in your life and in the people around you, you've got to model it. If you want to see that same change in your business, you have to model it. Okay? So if you got a coloring book, side note, coloring books do really well all year long, but in particular, people buy them around the holidays. They are stocking stuffers. They're a great stocking stuffer. But right now, you should be building content where you're coloring, or your children is coloring, or members of your family are coloring. Right? How you gonna sell art but you ain't got no art on your walls? None? I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if you want X out of your business, then you've got to model it. I want to be better at my business. I want to be healthier. And I want to show that it's possible to do both and have a family. Okay? So I get up 3 times a week and I walk and talk about it. Just a thought. I wanted to slow down and give you a lot of examples, because people out here, they're conning. They're selling junk. You don't want to be a part of that group that's selling junk. How you gonna sell TV art but you don't turn your TV on? Now, you may do all these things, right? You may do all of it when it comes to your family or your friends or your partner or your boyfriend. And they may not change. They may not change. And the book says, let them be. She says about 6 months, and she actually gives an entire strategy. So she gives a whole technique on how you can be way more effective, right? So she gives a whole technique on how you can address and how you work with someone that you're trying to influence. We don't have time to go over that this morning, go grab the book. It's The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. It's pinned to the bottom of my page. It's also in my Amazon storefront. Yes, there's audio. Yes, there's video audio. You can get the hardback. All right. Amazon storefront. It's in my profile, or just click on the link below. Okay. She said I'm snatching wigs this morning. Listen, I'm snatching my own wig. Because when I tell you this slapped me in the face so hard, I was like, oh, you mean I got to let XYZ be? Even though I see more for them than I see for myself? All right. So if you're selling coloring books, you need the color. You're selling art, put the art on the wall. Wear the art on your chest. Put the art on the children. Put the art on the grandbabies. All right? If you're selling water, drink the damn water. Whatever it is you're selling, you've got to model it. All right? So in my group, Morning Motivations, I'm doing this. I'm teaching a class next week, right? So I said, oh, well, I got a model. How I can teach these people something, but I don't show them nothing. So for 31 days, we're posting one time, just one time a day. That's it. That's all I got. And I picked August on purpose. I did. I said, you know what? For a lot of my folks who are similar to me, you've got kids, you're trying to get off to school and all of this. It can be a very busy season. But my thought is, if you could do it in a busy season, what can you do in a slow season? Y'all feel where I'm going with that? So I'm having to model it. I'm posting every day. Will I miss the day? I might. I have to fully accept that there may be a day I don't post. And I may get judged for it. But I'd rather that and be honest about the experience so that the people that are following me can know that it's okay if they miss a day. Right? Because missing one day doesn't mean much. It's when you 4 months later and you haven't posted about your business that it's a problem. Right? So I've got to model that. If I want people to invest in me, I have to model the behaviors that I believe will help them be most successful. Then I can teach them. And the same is true for you. A to Z Crafty says, here's her tip. Schedule a post on the calendar and it'll automatically post it. Excellent idea. She also says she has something related to her shop on everything that she has on. All right, this right here, I made this. I think I used Canva frames. I made it. That's what she's talking about. Let you be a walking billboard for your business. Okay? Don't cost you much to do that. Good morning, Monica. So let me talk to my coaches. I've been a long-time coach, certified coach. So I'm going to talk to coaches for just a second. All right? If you're a service provider, you offer coaching, you offer consulting, you teach. Here's what I need you to remember, which I thought this was quite powerful. You cannot force transformation on your client. That is control. That is not leadership. You cannot force transformation on your client. That's called control. And let me tell y'all something else while I'm here. Any leader that leads with control will never get what they want from their business. And they're going to only get so far. All right? So any leader that leads from, and you won't always know that that's what's happening. But if they're leading from a place of control, they will never get what they're seeking in their business. Okay? So my prayer for you is many of you are going to grow these businesses to the point where you're going to have people that work for you. You're going to have virtual assistants. V is our in-house. She offers virtual assistant services. Okay. You've got to let that VA demonstrate that they can do the work that you need them to do. Once they do that, you got to trust them with it. When you trust them with it, you're leading from a place of true leadership and not from a place of control. Okay? So you've got to inspire. All right? Let your systems speak much louder than your frustration. Okay? All right? I know these things aren't easy to hear first thing in the morning, but if I don't say them, Miss Linda, I got to up my speed. I'm not walking fast enough. Put a 1 in the chat if any of this has helped you kind of think about how you're going to address people. Right? I'm going to really work hard to start carrying let them be. And let me control my behavior, control my actions. Let me act from a place of patience. Okay? That's one of the things, if I don't walk away with anything else from this book, which I walk away with others, it's going to be that. You cannot control other people's businesses, other people's behaviors, other people's craziness. You cannot control your spouse's behavior. Because that's really the way she unpacks this. At the root of it, you and I, are trying to control this narrative. You're welcome. We trying to control it, honey. That's what this is about. At the core. All right? So let them be. And letting them be does not mean they just do what they want to do. Okay? Or it doesn't mean they cause you grief. In the book, she gives you a strategy. It's called the ABC method. She gives you a strategy on how to open the door to influence instead of control. So how can you effectively influence someone? What kinds of conversations can you have with them? But the 2 biggest things you need to know about this process, your ability to be patient and your ability to accept that maybe they won't change in this area, are the 2 things you need to be concerned about. Everything else is just your effort. All right? Everything else is just your effort. Let's talk about this in relation to your businesses. For many of you and me, I ain't out on this. You struggle with why your products aren't selling. A lot of reasons why. A lot of it has to do with you don't quite know what your target audience wants. You also don't know the best way to convince them, to influence them, to inspire them to get it. All right? It's what's holding you back. I've had to really center on that truth myself, and I'm slowly working on doing a better job of understanding what the audience wants, how they best receive it, so that eventually they make the purchase, right? Because I use my business to help supplement my income to support my family. That's at the heart of one of my goals, right? So, in your business, let that target audience be. Let you do the work. Let me do the work to better understand the target audience. Let me do the work to refine how I communicate my messages so that they can hear it, accept it. All right, so that they can hear it and accept it, and then bring it back to me. All right. I see you, A to Z. She says she suffers with procrastination. Don't know if this is the case for you, but oftentimes procrastination and fear live in the same space. I just want to challenge you to examine your fears and determine if your fears fuel your procrastination. If they do, then you got to work on unpacking those fears so that you can be more productive, so that you can move the needle where you want it to go. All right. Don't know if that's the case, but I encourage you to do that work. All right. Last little bit. 14 through 17 are some of the most impactful. It's like another wave of impactful chapters. Again, I'm not going to cover it all today, but these are just a couple of high notes I thought were important for us to talk about, and I thought would help us kind of navigate what's going on in your businesses. All right, Miss Sharon, I see you. She says the procrastination is and the fear of launch. Yes, usually procrastination and fear, they live in the same house. So you've got to tackle the fear first. Now, in the book, she talks about the five why method. Okay, go check out those chapters. But she did say it's a principle that comes from the Toyota company. It's called 5 Whys. So you've got to unpack why you're afraid. All right. And when you unpack why you're afraid, you then can build a plan for overcoming that fear. And once you've overcome that fear, you're able to do things you never thought was possible. All right. Same. A to Z said, I just stopped caring. Me too. I know I go live 3 times a week, but the last couple months, I've been like paralyzed when it comes to doing content, like creating reels and things like that. I've been paralyzed. Had a lot of excuses as to why I couldn't create reels. Y'all, I've created 17 reels this week. Some are fun, some are silly, some are a little bit more serious. I found time that I normally didn't have to do it. I've always had the time. I've been afraid of what people are going to think. Every single video has a mistake in it. I also want to add, every single one. I'm hitting publish anyway, and I'm not redoing too many things. I have a video where I have a shirt on that says shrinking waist and debt. That's what the shirt says. And then I'm eating sushi at a restaurant. And I'm like, what in the? I'm posting it anyway. I've got goals. I know how. I don't want to quit my day job. Let me be clear. I like my day job. I like what I get to do. I love the work. This is my side hustle work, and it helps me afford to do some things I wouldn't be able to do without it. All right, that's just the truth. So I don't want this large scale production, but I do want a means to bring in consistent income. I know a lot of you out there are the same way. All right. So I've had to stop letting fear get in the way of me accomplishing that goal. I have to stop it. And I have. All right. Good morning, Lady T. Good morning, Be Digital Love. You would have never made me believe I would have 17 videos. No, we're doing a 31-day challenge. I'm over halfway there. I'm only posting one video a day. I was procrastinating for months, y'all. But it wasn't procrastination. It was fear. It was fear. So I'm telling you now, if you are the person where procrastination and fear live in the same place, you've got to work on some ways to unpack that fear. All right? You got to. You absolutely have to figure out how to let that go. And then once you let the fear go, you don't have space for procrastination. It doesn't live there anymore. So A to Z, if that's your truth, then what steps will you take to make your dreams a reality? That's the question. So if for you, you're like, nope, it's not fear. I'm not afraid. I'm just waiting to the last minute. Another question, I don't know what procrastination means here. So are you saying it's too late to do something about it? Is it your own personal timeline? Or is it are you part of some organization? Whose timeline are we talking about where it creates this procrastination for you? Just a question. But for me, I can say I always know that everybody didn't have the same situation. For me, it was fear. And I'm going to keep going. All I can afford is one post a day. So if it's your own timeline, then my question becomes, is your timeline realistic? And my second question is, does your timeline actually matter? So Miss Sharon, she's on the other, she says it's more fear than procrastination. And same question. If it's your timeline, is your timeline real? Does it matter? Good morning, Mr. Corey. Does your timeline actually matter? That's the question. Does it matter? Does your timeline matter? I did a Bible study last month with a friend. I don't talk about this much, but one of the things, I kept it going this month, and one of the things it talked about is how much attitude and beliefs we put around time. We put way too much around time. We put way too much. So that's what I'll say about that. Our attitudes about time, and I am a time queen. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down and written out or typed out every second and every moment and every day. And more often than not, I can have a lot more success when I have a general blocked out plan and I get to it. We put way too much energy on time and timing. By the time we've done all that, we could have done what we said we wanted to do. That's the lesson I've been learning. And I hope that encourages you guys a little bit. Because that timeline that you have worked out in your head, it might matter. But I bet it don't if you're honest with yourself. I don't know, because I don't know everybody's story. All right? Then the last section of this set of chapters. Whee! The more you rescue people, the more they drown. The last couple of chapters talks about, because see, here's about this time, and this may not be y'all, but I have found there have been times I was spending so much time investing in other people, and the more I invested in them, the less they did. the more I can help. Look, I'm gonna do this to help. I'm gonna do that to help. The less they did. Yeah. And then I done looked up to stretch myself so thin I look like a piece of Laffy Taffy, piece of toffee at the fair, stretched all out. Baby, I'm a champion for other people. Just stop doing all my work to help other people. So this last couple of chapters, she tells you how to be more decisive in how you help. And sometimes you're going to have to let them, even if it means they're going to fail, even if it means you not helping them sets them back. Because sometimes the greatest lesson comes from within. Say it. V said, you stretched, they chilling. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, she didn't talk about it in these chapters. She will later in the book. And I'm going to mention it now because I want you to hear it. You're following the book. I'm going to let them be. I'm going to use some strategies to help influence, to help inspire. I'm going to remove manipulation and control from this situation. I'm going to wait 6, 9, 10 months, however long you think. All right. You done did it. You did the work. And they still haven't changed. Nothing's different. All right. Then you may need to decide that it's time to walk away. You might need to leave that job. You done spent 12 years trying to get your coworker to be you. Maybe it's time for a new job. Your supervisor grinds your gears. Maybe it's time for you to start working towards a plan that puts you in the spirit of promotion. Maybe it's time for you to walk away. Now, she didn't go into much detail about that part yet. I'm assuming she's covering it later, so we shall see. But understand, you helping people to your own detriment is a problem. And you trying to control and manipulate people into changing is also a problem. And there is somewhere along that timeline where you may have to walk away. Oh, Mr. Core said, oh, he had that come to Jesus moment in one of his construction jobs. Absolutely. Good morning, Infinite Rocket Power. Absolutely. You've got to get to this moment, to this space and time where you fully recognize that it may be, you might need to remove yourself. Remove yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. All right. It's okay to do that. Let them be, guys. And then go get in the book and find out what you can do to manage a situation. And in business, I'm telling you, let them be. Let you, or let me, lean into my skills, my talents, and my traits to help better understand my audience so that I can give them the very best that I have to offer, so that they become those clients that you're seeking or those customers that you're seeking, so that they'll return, so that they'll join your subscriptions. Okay? Don't go off complaining about all the ways your target audience is wrong. That's not going to get you anywhere. All right? Absolutely. Good morning, Black Girl Designs. Side note, Black Girl Designs, are you going live Saturday? Once a week, she typically goes live on Saturdays at 11, 12 Eastern. Y'all make sure you check it out. She's one of those folks that sells coloring books, and then she goes live talking about said coloring books. She's modeling and being an influencer in that work. She does a great job. All right. All right, let's keep that going. Miss A to Z said that they accept and receive the message. Put a 1 in the chat if you accept and receive the message. Put a 1 in the chat if you accept and receive the message. Look, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, I can't see nothing. If you're on Facebook, I can't see your comments. I will go back and read them after this call, but I can't see nothing. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Facebook be Facebooking. All right, head on over to YouTube, or you can head on over to TikTok and connect with me there, because I can't see anything. I hear you. Amen. And 2 more agree. I got you. All right, so let's talk. If you're not in my community, join the Morning Motivations community. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to be. We're small, but we're mighty. And we're going to start making transformational differences in our lives and our businesses. We're already doing that work. Head on over to my profile. It's up there. Go to my profile. Join the community. It doesn't cost you anything to join. All right? It doesn't cost you anything to join. I have a class coming up. It is August 9th. I'm going to be teaching you how to use the Edits app. It's the new app from Instagram. I would say it's kind of like CapCut in the making. They are rolling out new features every day. I've decided to leave it alone because I can't keep up with it. But I'm going to be teaching you how to create content with the Reels app. With the Edits app. And I'm also going to be talking to you about how to SEO optimize your social media. All right. That's what this picture has been about at the top of the screen next to my head. You can purchase the class as an individual purchase. There is a coupon code. Go look for it. Or you can join TRM Learning. And in TRM Learning, you can buy 3 classes for the price of 1. Okay, 1 from Regina in Midjourney, 1 from Talia, who always does a topic on crafting. All right. Speaking of Talia, Saturday she has a class. She's going to be teaching desktop calendars, and we'd love to have you. She would love to have you. Okay. All right. All of this information is in my profile, or it's in the Morning Motivations community. Pick which route. We'd love to see you be an involved member of our community. All right. Okay. Good morning, Rose. Those of you just popped in at the end, I'm so glad to have you. The replay will be available on YouTube in the next 24 hours. So just keep a lookout for that. I'm going to take my pace down. I'm going to look at my numbers. What Miss Linda and I realized like 3 or 4 months ago, that the more consistently you walk, then over time, certain speeds get easier. So when I was saying to Miss Linda, like, oh, I'm about to up my speed, that was my way of saying, Lord, this speed has gotten too easy. I'm going to have to up it. So let's see. I did 49 minutes, so that's good. 1.27 miles. So I'm still doing about 4 to 5 miles a week. In a beautiful world, I would get up to 6 to 10. That's what I'd like to see. I don't know if I can walk and talk that quickly. We shall see. We're going to work on it, y'all. But 6 to 10 miles a week would be lovely. Also, those of you that are brand new, let me be clear. All levels of movement are welcome, including 0. Okay? Including 0. Don't feel like you need to be walking or exercising with me. That's not the point. I literally do this because James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, he talks about doing something you need to do with something you want to do. That's all this is. I need to get in some fitness 3 times. That's what I need. That don't need to be your need. That's what I need. 3 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes. I need it. All right. My health this time last year was not in the best space, so I needed to do this. I wanted to go live to help grow my business. That was what I wanted. So I brought those two together. Something you need to do with something you want to do. If I want to be here for this business long term, I got to be in better health. I just brought the two together. But you don't have to be doing. I got people at work with an earbud in. I got people who are going to be getting their kids off to school in the morning when school starts in a couple weeks. I've got they laying in the bed. Hey, save some of them covers for me. I'm coming back. All right. So don't feel any kind of way. You just need to understand that these are 2 things I need to put together for myself. And the benefit of us connecting during this time is we can challenge ourselves about maybe some of the negative thinking we have, the procrastination, the fear. We do that together. That's the point of the call. And then if you need deep step-by-step support, join my classes, join the TRM Learning Patreon. All right. Invest in yourself even more if that's what you need. Okay. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if this was a good call for you today. Or let me know something you walked away with. Put a 1 in the chat because I know folks are busy and walking around. Or let me know something you walked away with today. Let me know. Either one works. Sometimes all we got time for is a little 1. And that's all right with me. Okay, good. Because here's the homework. We've got 2 pieces of homework this week. Monday, we talked about, what about your friends? So, homework for the rest of this week. Check on a friend that maybe you sense the relationship maybe has faded a little bit. Check on the friend. Let us know in the community how it went. All right. Today, that thing that your spouse been doing that get on your nerves, let them be. Go in the book. Follow the ABC method. Read up on the 5 ways. Those are 2 strategies she provides in the book to really start sitting in how you're going to better address that person. It could be a partner. It could be a coworker. And be patient. Give them time and model what you want them to do differently. You be the example. You be the example. All right. This was good. Good morning, D. I think that's Diana. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all, I can't see nothing on Facebook. It's okay. It's not okay, but I'm going to have to accept it. All right, guys. That is it for me today. I've been trying to do a better job of signing off. We'll see. Just know that you are loved. You are valued. If running a business is something that you want to do, you are capable. If you want your business to move forward, you have to be the model. All right. But you can do this. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day.